Welcome back to Work Energy Lab Reflection Notes. In episode 14, we listened for the body's early signals, the tightening, the bracing, the shallow breath, the heaviness, the speed, and the quiet whispers that often arrive before we have language for what is happening. We practiced asking, what is my body trying to tell me before it has to get louder? Today, I want to stay with the moment that comes next, the space between signal and response. Because once the body tells the truth, we still have to decide how we will meet it. This episode is about breath, pace, and space before reaction. It is about the moment when something reaches us, a message, a tone, a request, a silence, a meeting invitation, a decision that needs to be made, and the body begins preparing before we have consciously chosen how to respond. Sometimes that preparation is wise. The body is trying to protect us, orient us, and help us move. But sometimes the pace around us trains us into reaction. We answer too quickly. We say yes before we check capacity. We explain before we understand. We apologize before we know whether repair is actually ours to offer. We feel silence because stillness feels unsafe. We move at the speed of demand and then wonder why our voice feels disconnected from our deeper knowing. And there is a shadow side to this space before reaction too. Under stress, we may not only prepare to respond, we may prepare to protect. The body may get ready to attack, defend, appease, maybe disappear or perform, get controlling, or rescue, collapse, or make itself smaller. These patterns can rise quickly, sometimes before we recognize them as choices. They are often old strategies wearing the clothing of urgency. I do not want to treat those responses as failures. Many of them began as intelligent adaptations. At some point, they may have helped us stay safe, keep belonging, get through conflict, manage pressure, or remain functional when support was limited. But when a protective pattern takes over without our awareness, it can begin directing our voice, our boundaries, our yes, our no, and our sense of what is possible, fear. So if episode 14 asked, how do I hear the body before demand gets too loud? In this episode, we begin asking, how do I create enough space to choose what happens next? I want to keep our three recurring companions close as we explore this. The emerging holder, who is learning to carry more without proving capacity through urgency. The bridge builder, who often feels responsible for responding to every side of the tension. And the quiet holder, who has been so steady for so long that others may expect calm before anyone asks whether it is supported. Each of them may know what it feels like to react before they have returned to themselves, The emerging holder may respond quickly because they want to be seen as dependable. The bridge builder may rush in because tension feels like something they are supposed to solve. The quiet holder may skip over their own needs because steadiness has become the role other people trust. The emerging holder might meet that shadow through overproving or overagreeing. The bridge builder might meet it through rescuing, smoothing or absorbing tension that belongs in the room. The quiet holder might meet it through disappearing into steadiness, staying composed while their own needs move further out of reach. Each response carries information. Each one may be asking for care, support, boundary, or a different pace. Breath and pace can become a doorway back. Not a perfect doorway. There's very little about this that's perfect. Not a magic doorway, but a small, available, embodied doorway into choice. I want to say this gently. Breath is not a solution to everything. It is not a way to tolerate harm. It is not a reason to stay silent when something needs to be named. It is not a substitute for boundaries, support, rest, accountability, or change. But breath can be one of the first places we notice whether we are still connected to ourselves. Because breath often changes before our words do. Think about the moment just before you answer a tense email or before you unmute yourself in a meeting where your words may matter, or just before someone asks for one more thing and you feel your body preparing to say yes, even though something inside you is already tired. What happens to your breath in that moment? Do you hold it? Does it rise higher in the chest? Does it speed up? Do you become very still? Do you talk without inhaling fully? Does it feel as if your body has moved ahead of you and your voice is trying to catch up? For many of us, breath becomes part of the performance. We hold it while trying to stay composed. We shorten it while trying to move faster. We flatten it while trying not to feel too much. We use the body to get through the moment, while the body may be quietly saying, I need more room than this. There is something powerful about noticing that before we speak. I am holding my breath. I am rushing. I am answering from pressure instead of presence. I am trying to resolve discomfort faster than I can understand it. That noticing may be small, but it can interrupt a pattern. It can create a little space between what happened and what we do next. Sometimes that little space is where our values have a chance to re-enter the conversation. This is one reason breath matters. Breath can help us notice the shadow before it becomes the driver. Am I about to answer from defense? Am I about to say yes from fear? Am I about to smooth something over because discomfort feels dangerous? Am I about to go quiet because visibility feels risky? The breath may not solve the pattern, but it can illuminate the moment when the pattern is trying to take the lead. So let's talk about pace. Pace is not only how fast we move. Pace is what our nervous system starts to believe is required in order to belong, succeed, be safe, or be seen as responsible. Some workplaces teach us that immediate is the same as committed. Fast is the same as competent. A quick yes is more valuable than an honest pause. Availability is proof of care, and if we do not respond right away, we are disappointing someone. Over time, we may begin to internalize that pace. We may feel urgency, even when nothing is really urgent. We may feel behind, even when we are moving reasonably. We may feel guilty for taking a minute. We may move from one conversation into the next without letting anything land. The emerging holder can be especially vulnerable here. When you are beginning to carry more, it can be tempting to let speed become your evidence. Look how quickly I respond. Look how much I can juggle. Look how available I am. But speed is not the same as readiness, and over-availability is not the same as trustworthiness. The bridge builder may carry another kind of pace, the pace of tension. If two people are uncomfortable, if a decision is unclear, if expectations are competing, the bridge builder may feel an immediate pull to step in, translate, soften, fix, explain, or make the room easier to be in. But not every tension belongs in your body first. Not every silence is yours to feel. Not every gap is a failure. And the quiet holder may have been moving at a pace no one can see. The pace of remembering, anticipating, preparing for what might fall apart, and carrying things before anyone has asked. From the outside, it may look calm. Inside, it is constant. So part of the practice is not only breathing differently, it is asking, what pace has my life trained into me? What pace does this role expect from me? What pace do I confuse with worth? What pace makes it hard to hear myself? Sometimes the care is not a dramatic slowing down. Sometimes it is one breath before opening the message, one pause before saying yes, one sip of water before making the call, one moment of feeling your feet before you enter the room, one sentence that gives you space. Let me think about that and come back to you. I want to answer this carefully. I need a minute before I respond. Those sentences may sound simple, but they can be deeply countercultural when your nervous system has been trained to equate pause with danger. I have been thinking about the phrase, the space before reaction, the space between the next actions. Not because I always live there. I do not. I know what it is to answer from urgency. I know what it is to send the message and then realize my body was bracing the whole time. I know what it is to say yes, because yes came out faster than my awareness did. And I also know there are moments when one breath changes the next word. Not always the whole situation, not always the outcome, but the next word, the tone, the amount of truth I can include. The difference between performing calm and returning to enough steadiness to choose calm. Sometimes that breath helps me realize I am not ready to answer. Sometimes it helps me notice that I am making the situation bigger than it is. Sometimes it helps me feel the boundary underneath the pressure. Sometimes it helps me soften enough to listen. And then sometimes it helps me tell the truth more directly without adding extra defense around it. This is where breath connects back to voice, because the voice does not only need words. The voice needs enough body underneath it to carry truth without collapsing, rushing, freezing, or over-explaining. Your breath can tell you when your voice is moving faster than your discernment. Your shoulders can tell you when you are trying to sound okay before you actually are. Your jaw can tell you when you are holding back more than words. Your pace can tell you when you are being driven by expectation instead of grounded by choice. So the invitation today is not to overcome perfectly or to become perfectly regulated. It is not to breathe beautifully in every hard moment. It is to begin noticing where a small space might be possible. Maybe the small space comes before you reply. Maybe it comes after you read the message, but before your fingers start typing. Maybe it comes in the meeting when you feel pressure to rescue the silence. Maybe it comes when someone asks for your time and your automatic yes starts rising in your throat. Can you pause long enough to ask, what is happening in my body right now? What pace am I moving at? Is this response mine to give now? Or am I being pulled by urgency, fear, guilt, habit, or the need to make something easier for someone else? That is the pause. Not withdrawal, not avoidance, not silence as punishment. A pause as contact. A pause as care. A pause as the smallest possible return to yourself before you offer your energy outward. So there is also a relational piece here. When we slow down, we may create more room for other people too. We may interrupt less. We may listen more fully. We may say less but mean more. We may ask a clarifying question instead of defending. We may notice the person across from us before we react to the pressure inside us. Again, this does not mean we abandon accountability or truth. Sometimes The most grounded response is a clear no. Sometimes it is a direct request. Sometimes it is naming what is not working. Breath does not make us smaller. Used well, it helps us come back with more of ourselves available. Breath can also meet us differently in different seasons of work. Sometimes we are not asking breath for the same thing. Sometimes we need calm. Sometimes we need creativity. Sometimes we need focus. Sometimes we need enough integration to move between analysis and imagination, structure and intuition, the part of us that organizes and the part of us that senses possibility. When we want calm, the breath may invite length, a slower exhale, a softer jaw, a little more weight in the seats or the feet. Calm breath is not about forcing ourselves to relax. It is about signaling to the body that the moment may have more room than pressure is telling us it does. When we want creativity, the breath may invite space instead of tightening around the first answer. We might breathe wide into the ribs, turn away from the screen for a moment, or let the inhale remind us that possibility often needs room before it becomes clear. Creative breath can help us loosen our grip on efficiency long enough for something new to arrive. When we want focus, the breath may invite rhythm, a steady inhale, a steady exhale, a return to one thing. Focus breath does not have to be dramatic. It may simply help gather scattered attention back into the next sentence, the next decision, the next honest step. And when we need to combine different kinds of thinking, the breath may become a bridge. There are moments when the work asks for both the left brain gifts of sequence and language, discernment, and structure, and the right brain gifts of image, pattern, relationship, and felt sense. Breath can help us move between them without splitting ourselves apart. One breath to name what is practical. One breath to listen for what is meaningful. One breath to organize. One breath to imagine. One breath to let the body participate in a decision the mind has been trying to make alone. So instead of asking, what is the right way to breathe? We might ask, what season am I in right now? Do I need settling, opening, gathering, or integrating? Breath becomes less like a technique to master and more like a conversation with the moment we are actually living. Before we close, I want to invite you into a few brief breath practices. You can try one or simply listen and notice which one seems to meet the season you are in. If you are driving or doing something that needs your full attention, please just listen and return to the practices later. Practice 1. Breath as a signal. Begin by noticing the pace already moving in you. Not the pace you think you should have. The pace that is actually here. Is there speed in the chest, tightness in the jaw, a sense of leaning forward into what comes next, a heaviness that wants to slow down? Just notice. Now, notice your breath. Exactly as it is. You do not have to make it deeper right away. Just find where the breath is, where it's easiest to feel. Maybe the chest, maybe the belly, maybe the ribs, maybe the nose or throat. Let the breath be information, not performance. If it feels supportive, take one slightly slower inhale and then let the exhale be a little longer than it would normally be. Nothing forced, just enough to tell the body I am here. I am listening. Now ask gently, where do I hold my breath when demand comes toward me? You do not need to answer with words. Let the body answer if it wants to. Maybe a place becomes more noticeable. Maybe nothing changes. That is okay. Now imagine a small, ordinary moment of demand, a message, a question, a meeting, a request for your decision. Notice what your body does first. Does it brace, speed up, reach forward, collapse inward, prepare to please, prepare to defend, prepare to attack, prepare to control, withdraw, rescue, appease, disappear, or make yourself smaller? This is not about judging the response. These shadow responses often begin as protection. They may have helped us survive pressure, navigate conflict, keep belonging, stay safe, or get through moments when we did not have enough support. But breath gives us a way to notice them before they take the lead. One breath can help us ask what part of me is preparing to act right now, and what is it trying to protect. Now offer one breath before response, one breath before solving, one breath before explaining, one breath before saying yes. Let the inhale arrive. Let the exhale create a little more room. In that room, ask, what would a steadier response sound like? Not a perfect response, not the most impressive response. A steadier one. A response with more of you in it. Maybe it sounds like, I need a little time to think. Maybe it sounds like, I cannot take that on today. Maybe it sounds like, I want to understand what you are asking before I answer. Maybe it sounds like yes, and here is what I would need. Maybe it sounds like nothing yet, just a quieter return to yourself. So take one more breath and notice the effect. Did anything soften? Did anything clarify? Did anything become more honest? Did the pace shift even slightly? So practice 2. Breath for calm. For this practice, let the exhale become slightly longer than the inhale. You might inhale for a comfortable count of 3 or 4. Then exhale for a count that is 1 or 2 beats longer. Do not strain. Let the exhale feel like setting something down. After 2 or 3 rounds, notice whether the body receives even a small signal of settling. Maybe the shoulders drop. Maybe the jaw softens. Maybe nothing dramatic. happens here at all, but there is a little more room. This is breath as a tool for calm, not forcing peace, but inviting the body out of unnecessary urgency. Practice 3, breath for creativity. For creativity, let the inhale have a little more space. Imagine the breath widening through the ribs, the back, or the sides of the body. You might even turn your gaze away from the thing that you are trying to solve, and let the breath remind you that not every answer arrives by pressing harder. Take a few breaths with the question, what else might be possible here? Let the answer stay open. Creative breath does not demand insight on command. It creates conditions where a new connection, image, phrase, or direction may have room to appear. Practice 4, breath for focus. For focus, choose a simple rhythm. Inhale, exhale, return. Let each breath bring your attention back to one thing. Not everything on the list, not the whole future, just the next sentence, the next choice, the next action that is honestly yours. If the mind wanders, that is not failure. The practice is the return. Inhale, exhale, return. Focus breath becomes a way of gathering yourself without shaming the part of you that's scattered. Practice 5, breath for integration. For integration, let breath move between naming and sensing. On one breath, name what is practical. What do I know? What is required? What is the next step? On the next breath, listen for what is meaningful, what feels true. What pattern am I sensing? What does the body know that the mind has not yet organized? You might imagine the breath moving like a bridge between structure and imagination. One breath for clarity, one breath for possibility, one breath for language, one breath for image, one breath to let analysis and intuition speak to each other instead of competing for control. After these practices, notice which one felt most needed. Was it the breath that helped you settle, open, gather, or integrate? Breath is not only a signal telling us what is happening. It can also become a gentle way of directing ourselves toward the kind of presence the moment asks for. As you come back, remember that this practice is not about slowing down. Every part of your life, some moments require action. Some roles carry real urgency. Some decisions do need to be made. But even inside urgency, there may be one breath of contact, one breath that helps you know whether you are responding from steadiness or reacting from pressure. For the emerging holder, that breath may help build a pattern where responsibility does not require self-abandonment. For the bridge builder, it may help reveal whether you are carrying tension that is not yours to metabolize. For the quiet holder, it may help you remember that your steadiness deserves support before it becomes depletion. Breath gives us a place to begin. Pace gives us a pattern to examine. And the space before action gives us a chance to choose. This week, you might notice one place where your response usually arrives faster than your awareness. Before the automatic yes, before the defensive explanation, before the quick reply, before the rescue. Take one breath. Ask, what pace am I in? What would help me respond with more presence? Listen for the place where you rush because you care. Listen for the breath you hold because something matters. Listen for the moment before reaction becomes the only option. And if you can, offer yourself one small pause, not to disappear, not to delay what is true, but to return to the body you are asking to carry your voice. Thank you for listening. Until next time, may you notice the breath before it becomes a gasp, the pace before it becomes a demand, and the pause before reaction becomes your only path. Nourish before the demand arrives. And remember, readiness begins in the body you are already living in.